Welcome back, Sketchy Jeep here. Today we are installing a rooftop tent onto the Rhino Rack Platform assembly. Now what's the difference between this install and majority of your other install on YouTube is that I won't be using the cross supports that come with the tent itself. I'll be using bolts, washers, and a channel nut, all that I got from Home Depot to get this installed. I went this route because with this type of roof rack, they either suggest drilling into the platform itself or trying to get tools underneath the platform between the hardtop to tighten everything down, which with a Maximus 3 setup is very difficult to do, limited room. So with this method that I'm using, all I have to do is tighten everything down from the inside of the tent, which is real simple to do. All right. This will work with any of your fold-over tents, whether it's a Yakima, a CVT. It also works for your pop-up tents as well. You just have to alter it a little bit. But I think this method is a lot easier, and it also offers you a smaller profile on top of the vehicle. So I saw American Jeeper doing this. He did something very similar. I just modified it a little bit to alter to work from my setup. This actually turned out to be a somewhat easy install. You just need another hand to help you out with that. Now I did already install it initially, took it camping and everything, but on that first video I forgot to hit record, or I think I took a picture when I was trying to record, so I had to take it back off, plan another trip, and get a friend to come in and help me install it again. So that's why my clothing is going to change like halfway through the video, but it's still a fluid install video. Everything still worked out pretty good. So again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment and tell me what you think, and thanks for watching. This is a big one. Today we are installing that. Me and my buddy Jared here got him up on a Sunday to finally do some work because he didn't work all week. He says he did, but he didn't. We're gonna be installing this rooftop tent right here onto old Sketchy. So let's watch it happen.
This is the best breakdancing mat ever.
So these are the rails that I'm not going to be using. So this is the tent cover. So we have the ladder. It looks like these are going to be for the fly to open your windows. Oh, there's some mountain hardware. I'm going to be using the one for the ladder, but not the one for the rails. Oh, the cables for the LED light that is inside the tent. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through my plans for mounting this tent onto the Rhino Rack platform without using the rails, and hopefully it works. I'm talking to my buddy trying to figure it out. All right, so the tent can open in two directions. It can either open over the side of the vehicle on driver or passenger side, or I can mount it to where the tent comes over the back, and it kind of provides an awning type protection over the tailgate. The plan is to use these right here that I found at Home Depot. And mount it straight through the tent floor and onto the rails of the Rhino Rack. So this is what it would look like. So it would slide in and it'll be supported like so, and it'll be screwed right in. So the platform itself, or not the platform, but the roof rack is directly onto here. The problem I'm running into is getting the rooftop tent up here and then having it secured enough to where I can climb in with the ladder without the rooftop tent toppling over, because it's not secured into the rails yet, because that'll be really difficult to do. So the plan is, if I'm going to do it where the rooftop tent comes over the back of the vehicle, all I have to do is remove this little L bracket right here, and that will open the slot, the channel right here on this side, and the same thing on that side. Do the exact same thing, and we can slide it in from the back with these already like pre-installed. And then that will secure it just enough to where I can climb in and screw it down with a drill or a ratchet or something like that. And that is going over the back. And again, that will be doable because the tent will be wide enough to where I can drill new holes to get it on there. Or I can try the side method and see if I can somehow get the tent to slide in on the rails without removing anything on the platform itself. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to take a, what is that? I have a 2x4 by like 6 feet. I'm going to drill 2 holes the length and width of how I want to install it, and I'm going to run it onto the rails to see if there's going to be any issues, if that makes sense. You see what I'm doing here in a second. So what we just did here was I got some measurements for the rails themselves, and I got my drill points that I'm going to get my numbers for the where I'm going to mount these. So I got a rough cut on a 2x6, and we're going to test it out on the Jeep to see if I can get it on there without having to remove anything. So we'll see. So it worked, if that makes sense. So we're able to slide it on there. Slide that one back off and then do it, lift it up. So boom, right there. All right, that's good. Slide in, lift it up a little bit. So you can see, boom, we can clear it. And then once everything is locked in, it ain't going nowhere. That's what we were testing.
That's the thought.
That's the thought. That's the thought. So hopefully it's the same concept with this roof rack. We shall see. So now I'm going to get my measurements straight up for the roof rack, and I think we'll be able to mount it coming over the side of the vehicle. So that's what I'm going to try. We're going to drill it to come over the side of the vehicle and slide it on there, get everything loosely fitted, just enough to secure the tent for when I fold it open and climb up. I can drill it down to secure it completely. So let's make that happen. So what we're doing now is, since there's already holes marked, all we're doing is getting my measurements, because between the slats on the not Smitty built, but the Rhino Rack is 36.5 inches on center for the 2 slats I'm going to use. So I made sure we measured 36 from this side, because this is 32. It's pre-drilled 32 on center for these right here. So I'm just going to use this elevation or whatever to drill, but it's going to be 36 instead of 32 between the 2 holes. So 36 between right here and right here. That's what I'm going to drill. And same thing on that. And that should transfer over onto the rooftop tent. Matter of fact, to make sure, we're going to drill it onto the 2x4, 36 and 36, and I'll use that as a template. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to do that. So now we're checking to see if the 36.5 inches is going to work. Boom. All right, so now I've got everything marked. I'm going to start with a smaller drill bit and work my way up to 3/8 of an inch. And that's the size of bolt we're going to use. All right, so everything is drilled. Now I'm going to see, I have different lengths of bolts because I didn't know how thick that ground was or the floor was, so I got different length of bolts. See which one I'm going to use for the rooftop tent. All right, so this is going to be the setup inside the tent. It's going to be bolt, spring washer, washer, and I'm using a wide washer so I can cover more surface area on the floor itself so I don't risk damaging the floor. So we're gonna do it to all four and we'll start getting ready to mount this thing. Yeah, one job, bro.
We make it look easy.
So that's what it looks like. About to get ready to mount it. Now we did change it up and use the 1.5 inch screw without the lock washer because the 2 inches was too long for the shallowness of the rails of the Rhino Rack platform. So boom, that's what we're going to use instead. Okay, now that it's in the track, all I have to do is get in here, and from this side, the open side, you can get in there with the tool and tighten it down. So that's what I'll be doing. And I'm gonna do the next one right here. All right, so directions weren't 100% clear on what to do, but I just grabbed 2 bolts, well 4 bolts total, and it comes like this with 1 washer and the soft locking nut. I was putting the bolt down with the washer, and then you lift up the canvas and you put the nut underneath the bottom for the bracket. So I'm just gonna tighten that down. Now we're getting the hardware for the bracket and the ladder on. So it should look like that. Bolt, washer, plastic washer, bracket, another plastic washer, regular washer, and then the nut. And then get that tightened up. And that's it right there. Now we're about to unfold it. Okay, so for the 2 bolts that is inside of the tent itself, there's 2 ways to access it to tighten it. Both ways the tent is going to have to be opened up. For option A, you can open it up and use the access door from the one side of the tent and lift up the mattress and tighten it down from there, or you can open it up, extend the ladder, crawl in, open the mattress, or flip open the mattress and tighten it down. So I'm going to use option A. I'm just gonna open up the tent, open up the access door that's gonna be on this side, and just tighten it down from there. Now the tent is all secured. Now I just fold it back up and put the cover back on. All right, so that wraps up the install of the rooftop tent onto the platform. Now I know it was kind of long, but I didn't want to leave anything up to the imagination. Hopefully this works for everybody that's watching it. Just one thing, the 4 holes that came pre-drilled from the factory that's kind of exposed, I guess you can take that up if you're worried about like critters getting in there, or I'm not really worried about rain bouncing off of the hardtop into the tent from those holes. If it becomes a problem, then I'll probably plug it, but if you want to have peace of mind, you can go ahead and plug that. I am going camping with it tomorrow in Shenandoah, and it's planned to rain. So I'm going to put it through spaces and see what how it holds up to all different types of weather environment. So stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, tell me what you think. If you haven't already, follow me on Sketchy Jeep at Instagram. I put out a content probably daily on that social media platform. So again, thank you for watching, and y'all have a good one.